Previously on the advent of cyber. Alf McSkiddy was sipping her coffee when she saw on her calendar that it was time to review the web application's security. Alf Exploit McRed discovers the local web application suffers from an insecure direct object reference vulnerability. I've just navigated to the IP address followed by the port of 8080 and we're presented with a very friendly login page. Our own profile page containing our personal number. This could be considered personally identifiable information. Number 5. We have Alf Pivot McRed, and we can right click on this little chap here and open him in a new tab, and you'll see that it's calling 105.png. Hello world and welcome to Hacks. We are back with day 15 of the advent of cyber and we're looking at secure coding. Santa is looking for a sidekick. Now unfortunately it seems that the Bandit Yeti has gotten wind that I've been helping Santa out during this advent of cyber, and he has sent me an actual virus and given me a bit of a chest infection, so I'm feeling a little bit rubbish. Needless to say, we need to save Christmas, so we're going to continue pushing through, but that's why there was no video yesterday. I'm going to do that video today and hopefully do the next video later on today. So without any further ado, Santa is looking for a sidekick. The story. Santa is looking to hire new staff for his security team and has hired a freelance developer to create a web application where potential candidates can upload their CVs. Alf McSkiddy is aware that third-party risk can be serious and has tasked you, Alf Exploit McRed, with testing the application before it goes live. Since the festivities are right around the corner, we will focus on the core feature of the website, namely the ability to upload a CV. Alf McSkiddy has provided you with the latest version of the application. Start the machine attached to this task to load the website. Once loaded, roughly 2 minutes, you can navigate to the IP address to view the website using either the attack box or the TryHackMe VPN connection. So let's jump straight into it. You can see that I've already spun up the box that we're going to be attacking, and I've already spun up the Kali Linux instance that I'm going to be attacking from, and I've loaded the website, and you can see we have a file upload functionality. And what we're going to do is we're going to use MSF Venom to generate a payload that will create a reverse shell that will send it back to us when the document is open. And we know that one of the owls is going to open up the document, and then that's going to send a reverse shell back to us so that we can get access to the box that's hosting this web application. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a terminal and we're going to increase the size a little bit, and then we're going to come back to the room, and you can see there MSF Venom, but this is configured to use TAN 0, but if we go onto our Kali box and do IP you can see that we're not using TAN 0 because we're using the attack box. TAN 0 should work fine if you're using the VPN. If you're using the attack box though, you're probably going to want to use ETH0. So we're going to grab the payload and pop it into our clipboard, copy it out, paste the selection, and we're going to make some modifications to it. What I'm going to change first is the port, and I'm just going to tell it to use port 1337, and then I'm going to change the owl host to use the IP address, which is 10.10.166.207, and then I'm going to hit return, and hopefully that should create a payload and shouldn't take too long. So it produces a few errors to say that no platform was selected, but it's going to default to Windows. It's saying that there's no architecture selected, so it's defaulting to 64-bit, but that should be fine. There's no encoder. Hopefully there's no sort of checks to check that, but let's go and create our listener so that when the payload executes, it has something to talk to when it comes back to us. And we can do that just by heading back to the page and grabbing this metasploit command here, throwing that into our clipboard and pasting it in here. And again, we need to make some amendments. So we are going to change the listening port to 1337, and then we're going to set the local host to the IP address that we had earlier, so that's 10.10.166.207, and I think that's all we need to do. So it's using exploit multi-handler, payload Windows 64, it's using a interpreter reverse TCP payload, and we set our local host and our local port, and if we run that, that should set the listener up running. So that should now be running. So if we go to browse and we jump to our root, you can see we have the CV-username.exe, so we're just going to open that, and then we're going to click upload, and it says CV username.exe, CV file uploaded. Santa's team will review your CV and get back in touch. Santa believes in strong security. The file has been stored outside of the web root. No unethical elves allowed. So what we're waiting for now is the file to be executed, and what's probably happened is there probably is a script, like a scheduled task running on there, that will go through and open the file once it's been sent. So we're just going to wait for that. Oh, you can see now it's actually starting to send the payload over, and we have an interpreter shell. And now we can start answering the questions. The first question: what is the name given to file uploads that allow threat actors to upload any files they want? Well, if we scroll to the top, it tells us it's unrestricted because there's no coding mechanisms in place that prevent you from putting dodgy stuff in the file and uploading it. So the answer to that is unrestricted. Then the next question asks, what is the title of the web application developed by Santa's freelancer? Well, what we can do is we can cd to c:/, which I've already done, and then if we do dir, we can see that there's a directory called interpub or inetpub. So if we cd to inetpub and list that out, you can see we have the www root. So we can cd into www root, list that out, cd into Santa, and you can see that the answer is Santa Sidekick 2. So could probably get that by viewing the page source of the application as well. What is the value of the flag stored in the hrelfs document directory? So we need to now cd to c users, list that out, and you can see there's hrelf, so we're going to cd into hrelf, and then we can cd into the documents, and we should be able to just run type on flag.txt, cat flag.txt. There you go, and then we have the flag THM naughty file uploads can get you remote code executions. We're going to copy that, pop that into our clipboard, grab that and click submit. And that's pretty much it for the practical. Next we're just talking about secure coding practices, so let's head over onto the web app and go through how we can prevent things like this from happening. So the next question asks, what defense technique can be implemented to ensure specific file types can be uploaded? So if we come back up, I believe this is going to be either file content validation or file extension validation. So let's go with file content validation first and see what's happening. Nope, so it's going to be file extension validation. And the author of the room gives us some examples of file content validation and file extension validation in C#. You can see that the content type needs to be PDF or the extension type needs to be PDF. These are great to add to your file upload script, but they're not bulletproof. For instance, with file content validation, if you had an exe file, you could inject code into the beginning of the exe file to make it look like a PDF. Same can be done with images and other documents, and there are also bypasses for file extension validation. You can see we've got an if statement, but there are ways to do this, especially in web apps, by renaming the extensions. You can have .pdf.exe or .exe.pdf, and that can sometimes get past file upload filters. Also, if the checks are running client side, you can tell it it's a PDF initially, but when you go to post it to the server, you can change it on the subsequent requests so that it renames the file automatically. Another defense mechanism that the author has included is file size validation. So if a threat actor finds a vulnerability in a web upload form that allows them to upload files of any size, then they could potentially upload huge files and deny the disk space to other users, thus presenting a denial of service condition. Because the threat actor has used all the disk space, the application can no longer function properly, meaning that genuine users won't be able to use it. File renaming is also another really great tactic to ensure threat actors don't know the name of the file once it's been uploaded. So if you can imagine you create a malicious document and you upload it to the uploads directory and you know the name of that document, you can easily curl get that document to trigger your reverse shell. However, if the file is renamed upon upload, the threat actor will have no idea what the file is called, and it would be by luck if they were able to sort of brute force the directories and find their file again. And that is going to be the answer to the next question, which asks, what defense technique can be used to make sure threat actors cannot recover their file again by simply using the file name? That's just going to be file renaming. And then the final question, what defense technique can be used to make sure malicious files that can hurt elves are not uploaded? So I believe that's just going to be malware scanning, pop that in there. And yeah, absolutely, as you should have antivirus or Defender on your own machine, you should have antivirus and scanning software on your servers to check when malicious files are uploaded. And there are good checks for this as well, and a safe way you can use an ICAR file. And if a web application allows you to upload an ICAR file, then it's susceptible to uploading malicious documents to it. Anyway, that's all I've got for you for this video. I hope it helped you with the challenge, and if it did, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Kind regards.